get the recording available. All right, excellent. So first of all, this meeting is basically for all families and students that are starting with us, that are starting kind of a little late in the school year, all right, in order for you to be able to catch up and to be online and prepare as soon as possible with all the classes, okay? I would prefer if you keep your camera on. It's a little easier to talk with people that way, okay, than to a label on the screen. All right. And if you want to ask questions or anything, raise your hand, okay? Anything that I can do to help you. This meeting is really for you. If you have your students there with you, it would be also helpful for them to participate here, to be able to see and watch what is it that we are doing, okay, together, all right? So that is kind of the first thing. So let's begin now. I'm glad to see you, Flemings. Excellent. Very nice to meet you. All right. So we are going to first start by talking about how to get to the courses and the live classes. All right. So let me pull a screen here and we are going to do this together. Okay. I'm going to share my screen in a second. Okay. So we'll see that. Okay. All right. So I can still see all of you here. All right, so the first thing that we need to know is after you get enrolled in the class in American Heritage School, there's going to be two systems that you need access to. One is called Veracruz, okay? And let me see, to get to Veracruz, the best way is to go here. All right, let me pull this up. To get to Veracruz, you come to americanheritageschool.org. That is the website for our whole school, the whole campus. All three campi of our school share this website. So in here, you go to American Heritage School, and on the top, there's a link here to Veracruz. Veracruz is what is called the Student Information System. If you are new to the school, you may need to create a login. We are going to create an account for you as part of the admissions process. Elizabeth, we create an account for the student and one account for each of the parents that give us information there. But when you come in, you are going to probably see something more like this, okay? And the username is going to be given to you in an email, but the password you won't have yet. So you come here and you click on Can Access Account, and you go through the process of basically clicking on entering your email address and setting up a new password. When you enter your email address, you will receive an email in order to get registered in Veracruz. Okay. All right. So that is how you get here to Veracruz, the student information system. When you log in into Veracruz, you are going to either see the student portal or the parent portal. If you are a student, you are going to see as a student your classes listed here. As a parent, I'm going to show you what I see as a parent. I see my 3 children and their classes and reports and so on. Okay, so you would see that similar to with your students. There's going to be not a whole lot of information here in Veracruz, but we use Veracruz mainly to keep track of all the classes that you take with us throughout the years, okay? And also to provide the report cards. So the report cards are going to be accessible and available here in Veracruz, all right? The day-to-day work of the students doesn't happen in Veracruz, it happens here in Canvas. And Canvas is the place where you will log in order to do your classes. All the students already have a Canvas account created when you did the admissions test. Okay, so that is part of getting into Canvas to do the admissions test. We create an account for you and enroll you in this online admissions course where your students have been able to do either the middle school assessment or the high school assessment. I'm going to change my view to view things as a student, okay? So this is what the students actually see in the classes, all right? After you have the admissions process, you are also going to, let me leave the student view in order to show you the courses. You are going to see here in Canvas all the courses that your students are enrolled in. And that is part also of the admissions process, is selecting which courses you want to take. You need to select a maximum of 7 courses, okay? 7 courses is full time. If you are enrolling a la carte, of course, it's most convenient to enroll in less courses, but your courses would appear here in the dashboard, okay? So far, so good? Are we okay? All right. So the way that the courses look is here they have a tile and they have a name, all right, and a figure, and they show you what they are. Many times students look at just the list of assignments to do and try to do those, okay? And if they click on show all assignments for their classes, Canvas is going to switch them to this view of their dashboard. So it's going to be a view basically showing just the assignments that they have due. I do not recommend you using this view, okay, at all.
What are we in right now?
All right. I actually recommend you that you switch always to the card view, and you do that by clicking on these 3 dots and going to the card view. So in the card view, you see the courses, okay, and then when you click on one individual course, you will see the list of assignments just that are due for that course, okay? The way to access information about the learning coaches is here in this screen that says learning coach, and that will have the information for the learning coach of that particular course. All the coaches use the software Calendly in order for you to be able to schedule the one-on-one coaching sessions. So you go here, you click on Calendly, you select the date, okay, and then the calendar shows you the times available for you to sign up to a coaching session, all right? As you sign up, you will enter your email address and it will send you a confirmation email letting you know when the time is scheduled for you to join. The information of where to join is also here in Calendly, and it is also here in the Learning Coach page. So this will open Zoom in order to go to the learning coaches appointment. Okay? Any questions so far? We okay? So this is how you get hold of all the learning coaches for each course. Mhm. For joining the live class, every class has a weekly live class session. You click here on the join live class button, and that will open Zoom into the high school classroom or the middle school classroom that is available during the time of the class. Okay. In Veracruz, you will see the information about the schedule of the classes. So I don't, let me show you a schedule for one student, for example. Let me see. Okay. Let me bring this here. So from Veracruz, you will be able to print and obtain a schedule for your student that shows all the different classes that they are scheduled at and at what time the classes occur. These times are always in Mountain Standard Time, okay? So in Mountain Time. So you need to adjust the document to show your time. All right. We have the Fleming family joining us from New Zealand. And I have to tell you, Flemings, you are my favorite, okay? Because of the great sacrifice that your children make to join us in class. So I totally admire you for that. So I'm very, very grateful. Years ago, when we were having this program, we had their two oldest daughter and son, all right, joining us, and they had classes from 2 in the morning to 5 in the morning. And every time we saw them huddle up in their blankets, they are participating in the class, and it was awesome. It was really a great, great sacrifice, but very admirable of them. One time we asked them, so what do you do after class? Do you go back to sleep? And they both said, no, we go to early morning seminary. So, yeah, after hearing from the Flemings, no one can complain here. So really amazing. So we are very grateful to have Esme and Reggie in class now. Mhm. One thing that I need to point out is that the math classes, Algebra 2, Algebra 1, and so on, all the math classes are going to appear here in the schedule just in order to let you know that they are in the schedule, but they do not have a live class component, and they do not have a meeting time at this time. Okay? The math classes are, you study the math and you do the lessons basically every single day. You need to schedule about an hour and a half to complete the lesson of the day, to do the practice set, and then on Fridays there's always a test for math. Okay, so that is one of the only classes that doesn't have a live class component. There's a few others that are also that way, like chemistry and artistic performance and so on. All right. Now, how do I see the content of the class? You click here in the learning dashboard. The learning dashboard is going to appear, and the first time that you load the learning dashboard, a screen is going to show about Delphinium, and it's going to ask you to authorize the software. So Delphinium is the software here that we use to drive the learning dashboard. You have to authorize it. And then in here, the students are able to see the content of each week. So you click on the tile for the week and you click on the lesson. The lesson is always at the top, okay? And you have here the information that the students need to study for that week's lesson. And then you have underneath all the different assignments for that class for that week. All right. Week 0, we call it a foundations week. So week 0 is basically a way for you to learn how the course works, what are all the softwares that you need to use, and the exercises, the assignments here are just in order to get you started, okay? To make sure that you have access to all the software that is used in the course. For example, in this course, we use Flipgrid, we email things, and so on. And so we want the students, to learn how to do that. It shouldn't take too long. There's not a whole lot of points here in this week, but that is what week 0 is, okay? Last week was week 1. So week 1 is actually when we start getting into the course, into the lesson of the course. So you click here into the lesson and you are going to be able to see each lesson has the objectives, a research section, reason, relate, and record, okay? And this record is where the assignments are. So the same assignments that are shown here in the dashboard are the assignments that are shown in the lesson, in the record part of the lesson. All right? So those are accessible both ways. This dashboard has the advantage of showing you, okay, how many points they are, when they are due, if you have completed them or not, and so on. Okay, but that is how you access the information and the assignments. It is very important, it is critical really for the students to watch the videos that we have in the lessons and study the materials of the lessons before doing the assignments, okay? And in fact, the main idea is that the students should study the content of the lessons before the live class, okay? Because the live class that we have every week is the time where we have the students discussing the content of the lessons, the things that they have learned during the lesson, going deeper into that topic, answering questions to one another, and doing activities related to the content of the lesson. During the live class, we do not teach the lesson. We are not the teachers, okay? We have learning coaches. And so a learning coach, similar to a coach in basketball or football or any other sport, the coach is not playing the game. The coach is on the sidelines watching the students play the game, okay? So in our school, the live class time is a time for you to show us what you have learned. And so we are going to use that time as coaches to give feedback on the assignments, to ask questions from the students, to go deeper into the topics, and then preview the lesson for the following week. Okay, so we will preview what is the lesson and the things that the students need to do in the following week. Okay, so far so good?
I have a couple questions.
Yes, go ahead.
My son is in one of the MyPace classes, And I thought that the class still recorded like an actual class so he could like watch a video of a class. Is that not part of the My Pace?
Some of the time, some of the classes are recorded, okay? It is not, so watching the recording of the live class is almost really optional for the My Pace students, okay? It's again not very beneficial, okay, because it's really like watching someone else's game. All right, you are watching someone else doing the game, but you are not benefiting too much from watching the live class. Okay, does that make sense? We can make them available. They are there, all right. If you want them, we can send you the links to the recordings, but normally for the My Pace students, instead of the live class, we have the one-on-one coaching time. That is the time where the learning coach and the students are able to get together to ask questions and so on. Again, that is the playtime for the My Pace students. Okay. The one-on-one coaching sessions are critical for those students. All right. Which classes is your student taking?
He's doing just the history, My Pace history.
Okay, so that is again, would be the best thing is for your student to participate in the one-on-one coaching sessions. Okay. Mhm. All right. Excellent. So now we are at the beginning. So today we are at the beginning of week 2. Okay, so we are at the beginning of week 2. So during the live classes of this week, most of the students are going to be discussing and receiving feedback on the things that they learned during week 1. Okay, and right after the class, the students are going to start learning and doing the assignments for week 2. Okay, so if your student is a My Pace student, then they need to schedule a one-on-one meeting time with the learning coach to go over these materials and everything and figure out how the My Pace schedule is going to work for them. Okay, so for My Pace students, directly go with a live coach, with a coach. All right. For the students that are doing the live classes, how do you catch up, basically? So again, the best thing is for you to schedule a time with the learning coaches, tell them that you are catching up, that you need to start afresh, and then they are going to actually let you know where to begin and which assignments to skip. Okay, so most of the times the learning coaches are going to tell you, don't worry about doing the assignments for the foundations week, except maybe the scheduling of the one-on-one coaching session. That is important because that is going to basically let you meet with the coach. Okay, then you may need to read the information on the lesson in Foundations Week in order to understand how the course works and everything, all the different parts to the course. So very useful information. All right. But you can ask the learning coach to excuse you from these assignments, from the assignments that are not totally critical. Okay. Similarly, for week 1, okay, there may be some assignments or some part of the lesson in week 1 that is critical, but ask the learning coach to be excused of the ones that are not critical for you to complete at this time. Okay? What we want is for you and your students to start concentrating on week 2, which is where we are at, and in order to be caught up with the rest of the class and be able to stay with all the rest of the students. Okay. Again, there are some courses that are that is almost impossible to do. You know, like chemistry, all the lessons are critical, all the information is important. But here, for example, in zoology and most of the middle school classes, you can start on, you know, on the week where you are at and be excused from the assignments or the lessons from the previous week. All right. So that is in order for you to be caught up as soon as possible with the rest of the class. Okay. So any questions on that? No? Okay. So that is basically what I have, you know, planned, okay, for you, is that kind of to explain to you how the courses work, how the lessons are set up. You as parents are going to be set up as observers of your children's courses. So you are going to also receive in the email an email asking you to verify your Canvas account, set your password, and then when you log in, you will be able to see the courses that your students are taking. Okay. And in there, you will be able to click in and see all the information about where they are at, how they are doing, and so on. So that is the best way for you to stay also informed of their progress. Okay. If you have any problems finding the emails or how to connect with Canvas and so on, Elizabeth and I are here to support you on all of that. Okay. So that is what I have. Any questions, comments, anything else that I can do for you?
I just wanted to follow up on that. So should we have already received that invitation to set up our own account and be able to see, or is that still coming?
It depends on where you are. Great question. It really depends on where you are in the registration process. Okay. So if your student has already passed the admissions test, the admissions exam, and you have entered the information in Veracruz, and I think that at this point they have to sign up the contract. What is the all the steps of that process, Elizabeth? There's one part where they have to choose from a spreadsheet which classes to take. And then after that, I think is the time when we create your Canvas account. Okay.
Okay, yeah, we've already gotten through all those steps, and I guess I haven't seen my own Canvas account show up, but maybe I just missed that with all the,
What is
getting
your
oriented.
student's name?
I have Natalie Hill and Lucas Hill.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, we just spoke earlier. Sorry, I'll turn my camera
sorry.
on. I'm at the church for activity days and
Okay.
women's right now.
I didn't see your last name, so I couldn't. So okay. So Natalie Hill. Let me see. Let me check over here.
Right, Marcy has one, but I'm not
Okay.
sure if it's been added to with your students.
So yeah, so I have that we should have sent an email to marcyhill@gmail.com. Okay.
Okay, great. I'll go back and look for that, and I'll I'll follow up with an email if I'm having a hard time
That's right.
getting
yes.
into that.
Yeah.
Maybe do a search, Marcy. Sometimes those Canvas registrations go right to junk mail, so
Yeah,
maybe.
okay.
Yes, so
Thank
look
you.
for the spam folder or the junk mail folder, and please clear us from that. Anything coming from Veracruz or Canvas, American Heritage. So, yeah.
Okay, and when I looked into Veracruz just a few minutes ago, I couldn't see anything there. So am I supposed to be able to see a schedule there in Veracruz now, or is once the
believe
admissions
so.
process is over, does that disappear?
No, actually, at that point, you should be able to see the parent portal. Elizabeth?
Okay.
I'm
you are
muted.
muted, yeah. Mhm.
So, I was asking, trying to ask Hallie if she had one, so I didn't hear her question.
If
Oh,
the parent portal should be set up for the parents.
For Veracruz?
Yes, in Veracruz.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
It's the same login, Marcy, as where you did the application.
right. Yeah, I went in there just a few minutes ago to see if I could see like a schedule for Natalie and Lucas, and I couldn't see any. I saw my son Elijah, who mistakenly was put into that because he's a sixth grader.
Okay.
And so all I see is him still in there, and I don't see like a schedule or anything else, but maybe I am not clicking in the right place.
We'll
So
check it
I,
out.
s- I see applications, households, and payments, and that's all I see.
All right. I'm going to send you through email the schedule that I have both for Natalie and Lucas. Okay.
Okay,
Now, so.
okay, thank you.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. All right, and then let me do this. Okay. All right, on its way. Any other questions from anyone? Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry, it's dark. I'm putting a kid to bed, but can for high school students who are kind of struggling with the load at first, do you recommend them do, I know that you recommended for my middle school son to do all the assignments for one class in one day and then kind of take it class by class per day. Is that also recommended for high school to keep so that they can keep up on their work?
Yes. So I always recommend that. Who is your high school student again?
Landon Smith.
Oh, yes. London, yes. So in here, yeah, so the best thing is really to schedule time to do math every day, okay? And then have the live classes. And then after the live classes, just plan to do the study of the lesson and the assignments for one class, all right? And that should take about 3 to 4 hours. When I say that, that is for a normal, dedicated student who is not texting or watching YouTube or getting distracted with a million other things. All right. If the student gets distracted, it's going to take about 8 hours. All right. And so that is not going to work. most students are able to complete all the homework, the lesson, the studying of the lesson and the assignments and everything for each class in about 3 to 4 hours per week. So my suggestion always, my recommendation is that they do that. They dedicate one afternoon per class, all right? And so, for example, in the case here of London, London has financial literacy on Monday. So after the Monday class, he would go to Canvas and study the lesson and complete the assignments for the following week. Okay, so he's working on the next week. On Tuesdays,
And-
he will do biology and so on. Mhm.
Okay, and is it okay if, because of the time change, it's okay if he works on it before his classes, correct?
Yes, it
Okay.
is also okay to do that, all right? If you are in the East Coast, all right, a class at a 9-hour time is 11. So that is plenty of time first to do the math class. So I always recommend doing math first. Okay. If they have time before the classes, then they start studying the lesson and doing things for the class of that day before the class, and then they finish after the class. Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay. So German, any of the foreign language courses, I also recommend for the students to study a little bit each day. So in those courses, we are using Duolingo, which is very, very helpful in order for them to do even just 20, 30 minutes each day. Mhm. All right. Does that help, Sierra?
yes, thank you.
Thank you. Shasta, yes, you have a question? Mhm.
Yes, I did set up my Canvas account, but I can only see one of my kids in there.
All right, let me check that. Okay. Excellent.
And when we do, like, when they log into their Canvas, none of the images show up. And I've like messed with all the settings on our computers and I can't get the images to show up. So it just shows like an empty square where there would be an image and it shows the title of it.
Could you share your screen to let me see what it is? Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Okay, let's see.
Okay, I'm gonna,
Mhm. Excellent. And so you have Dylan and Logan, is that correct?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Can you see that? And the box that just says, it's just the title of the,
Okay, let's see. Is that happening in every page?
it doesn't happen if it's a video. It just happens if it's an image and it happens no matter what device we're using. We've tried like changing to the laptop or even an iPhone to get it.
Okay. All right. Click on, so let's see. In the dashboard, things appear okay for you?
Yeah,
Okay, so the dashboard is all right. Okay. Mhm.
slow.
All right. Excellent. I'll take a look into that. Sometimes it's a matter of how the images are loaded into the course. Okay. Mhm.
Okay.
It is a complex system. We are trying to work out all the kinks as we go. So we appreciate your feedback, patience, and information to us. So keep sharing those with us. Mhm.
Okay, and I just had I have Logan Knight's one class in there, and I'm missing Dylan Knight has 2 classes that don't show up on my dashboard.
Yes, okay, so we'll correct that and set you up as a observer also for Dylan.
Thank you.
All right. Let me make a note of that. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? Yes,
Hi, I was just gonna say to Shasta, with my, because I see that the American Heritage account is working kind of like Canvas does. And I know with my Canvas account, if I'm running off of a Safari, it won't pull up images. So I have to download Google Chrome in order for me to be able to pull up images. But maybe you've tried that. So, but I just thought I'd throw that out there just in case.
I will try that.
yes,
So-
yeah. I think that Canvas works best with Chrome or
Yeah.
Firefox. Okay.
So I don't know if that's maybe the same thing, but just maybe you could just find somebody that has like an Android phone or just a regular like PC and just see if you can upload them that way.
I will try that. It's worth a try. Thanks.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank
No
you,
problem.
thank you. I need to remember that one. Excellent trick. Yes, that is what happens when we are using so many different software. So excellent, thank you. Any other questions? Anything else that I can do to help out?
Can I ask one more question about grading? So I saw just in some of the assignments that my children are trying to catch up, and there've been some late assignments and they've been penalized for those for being late. Is that going to continue to be the case, or is there a way to work
Normally-
that out with the teacher?
Yeah, so for sure, okay, especially for this group of students, you need to reach out to the learning coaches again. Like I mentioned before, ask them, whether they need to complete all the assignments or they can be excused from some of the assignments in the first couple of weeks in order to catch up and be caught up, all right? So normally, our learning coaches don't penalize with discounting points for a late assignment. Okay, so especially at this time of the year. All right. So if you, which course have you seen that in?
With the history is all I've noticed it so far for the high school.
Okay. All right. Have you been able to meet with the learning coach for history with Miss Merrill?
Well, my daughter's been the one setting up the meetings, and I don't get invited to them, and she hasn't been able to figure out how to invite me to those meetings because they're set up in Calendly, and then I guess I joined a little late. You were starting to explain about that, but so I have to go in and get a Calendly account in order to receive notifications, or?
No. So Calendly works for anyone to sign up to schedule the appointment, and then they would need to enter their email, whichever email they want, in order to receive the appointment. Okay, and you can actually enter several emails, and the appointment is sent to everyone. All right.
Okay.
Or your daughter could look at her appointment and then just forward the appointment to you. All right, either way.
Right. Yeah, she's learning to do that. It's a new thing.
Yeah, we are all learning.
So, but you recommend the parents attending the meetings with the children, the learning coach meetings?
We always invite the parents to be there all the time. Okay. In fact, we assume that you are always there. Okay.
Okay.
So our assumption.
That's helpful to know.
Yeah, even if we don't see you, we assume that you are there. Okay.
Okay.
We always want you to be there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Yes. Thank you.
I have one more question. I'm
Uh-huh.
sorry.
No problem. You no need to apologize. This is what we are here for. Yeah.
So with the Canvas group discussion, we can never find the question. Is there somewhere that the question is supposed to be? When my kids get on like the class chat, they
Mhm.
can kind of gauge what the question is, but they can only see the answers to the question. We can't see the question.
So I haven't looked too much into the class discussions actually. All right. So I really cannot tell you. My take was that the class discussions were just a way for the students to openly communicate and socialize and chat, with other students in the class. So it's not like a discussion group assignment or anything like that.
They've been putting assignments.
They
So
have
the
been putting
assignment,
assignments. Mhm.
yeah, like the first one, they just wanted to get to know the Canvas. And so we saw that question. It was, what is your favorite color? Just to get a discussion going. But then there was some question this week that had to do with something that Thomas Jefferson said, but we can't find the actual question. And so my kids are like trying to figure out how to answer a question that they can't see.
Okay, so that is the US history.
Yeah.
Okay, let me take a look.
So I have one in the middle school program, and then my other son is in the my one.
All right, so let me see if I share the screen. So the class chat is running a software called Padlet. Okay. So this is what I was in the US history course. Sorry, I was in the US history course and I click on the class chat. Okay. And I see that let me check to see if it's in one of the assignments of the class. Mhm. Okay. All right, sorry. Mhm. So here is how you authorize. So here we have the Canvas group discussion assignment. Okay. So I think that the question would be here. I don't know. Post the reply. No, it's not. Yeah, I don't find it either to begin with. Oops. Mhm. Okay. Sorry, did I lose you for a second? Were you seeing my screen? Okay.
Yeah, I was
No,
seeing
I couldn't find the question either, really. So
okay, I'll
ask.
just I'll ask the teacher and try and we'll email her and see if we can get more info.
I don't use the class chat in my classes, so I'm not too familiar with it. Okay. All right, excellent. Good, thank you so much. Any other questions? Anything else? No? Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining, and don't hesitate to reach out to us, email, phone, any way you need. Okay, it is important to realize in an online school that you are with the students much more than we are with the students. Okay, so if your students are struggling or they are having some problems or something like that, it is important that you let us know because we don't see them very often. We don't see them that long. All right. So we need to make sure that we have this open communication between us in order to make this experience the best possible for them. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate your being here. All right. Thanks.
Pablo, this is the